Hey gems, welcome back to my channel. My name's Imani. I don't think I've ever really told you guys, but if you don't know, now you know. Today we're going to be talking about Sabbath, Shabbat, the holy day, the day of the Lord, okay? Now, the day, not a day, the day. I wanted to tell you, what is Shabbat? Shabbat is a day of rest. A day of rest in the Lord for his purpose. For you to just relax into him and to build your relationship with him. Baby, think of Shabbat like a date night where, you know, you, your husband, your friends, you guys go on a date night, you focus on each other. Shabbat is Yah's date night with you, okay? So I have multitude of scriptures that I want to mention, but I'm only going to read a few of them. So I'm going to put the scriptures up here so you guys can look them up for yourselves, but I will read a few. Now, we are going to read the scriptures, okay? First one is Genesis 2, verses 2 through 3. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he rested from all his work which God created and made. They couldn't say it anymore about his creation, but whatever. Then we're going to read Deuteronomy 5 and 14. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt do no work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, nor thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thine ass, nor thine ass, nor any of thine cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates, that thy manservant and thy maidservant may find rest as well as thou. Exodus 31, 14 through 17. Ye shall keep the Sabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it shall surely be put to death. For whomsoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whomsoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations for a perpetual covenant. A perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. So those are some of the scriptures. Now this last scripture is one to keep in mind whenever someone says, you don't need to celebrate the Sabbath. What's the purpose of celebrating the Sabbath? Like, why? Colossians 2 and 16. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink, or in respect of any holy day, or of the new moon, or of the Sabbath days. Now, the Sabbath is not some day we just woke up and said, okay, I'm going to celebrate the Sabbath now, just because I feel like it. It is one, something that Yah himself kept. It is 2, one of the 10 commandments. And it is 3, a sign between him and his people. Why not keep the Sabbath? Okay, guys. Now, you have 6 days to do any and everything you want for yourself. And God gave you 1 day out of the week to have relationship with him, solely focus on him. He's not asking for every day of the week. I mean, yes, you should be praying throughout the day, throughout the week, and all that stuff. He's saying that day is for me and for you, for us to get to know each other and build a stronger relationship, to have a stronger foundation together. Why wouldn't you want to keep the Sabbath? And a day to just rest from work, from doing anything? Wouldn't you want to do that? I will leave a link in the description that talks about the Sabbath. It's a link to the Britannica, but the title will show that it is a Jewish religious holiday. But what I want you to keep in mind, that it is not a Jewish thing. It is not a Jewish thing. It is not a Catholic thing. It is not a Baptist thing. It is Yah's thing. It is his holy day. It's his feast. It's his commandments, his laws. It's not Moses's. It's not Moses' law. It's not You are. It's not Moses' laws. It's God's. It's Yah's. He made it. He sanctified it. He hallowed it. Okay? He gave it to Moses to give to you. It wasn't Moses' to begin with, okay? Just keep that in mind. I do want to tell you that before the 10 Commandments were even given to Moses, God kept the Sabbath. The Sabbath was something that was from the beginning of time. When the earth was without form and void, that is when Sabbath originated. Maybe before that, I don't know, but that's the first sign of first mention, okay? That's the first time it was mentioned where Yah was like, listen, I'm gonna take this rest here, me paraphrasing. I'm gonna relax from my work. And he took that day and hallowed it. So you should keep it to it. Most importantly, most of all, of why I'm personally keeping Sabbath is because he says this is a sign between him and his people. This is a covenant, a perpetual covenant between him and his people. If you are considered God's people, if you are considered his, you will keep his laws, his statutes and commandments, and keep his holy days. You will keep the Sabbath. You will not do any work therein on the Sabbath because he, your creator, told you, don't do it, because he knows what's best for you. He is the builder of the product. Like, for example, when you go buy a washing machine, there are rules and instructions to the washing machine. How to use it, how to turn it on, what each button does, or how to effectively use it the most, or how to troubleshoot it, all of that, right? And you follow that manual. The Bible, Torah, that's our manual. We're supposed to follow that, but we want to make our own rules and follow our own things because we think we know better than Creator. We think we know better than the manufacturer. Now, another thing I would like to tell you is what does keeping the Sabbath looks like. Just so you know, it's not just a day for you to go to the movies or catch up on your Netflix show or binge watch this and binge watch that. But when I was first keeping the Sabbath, I just wouldn't go to work. I would go grocery shopping. I would go to the beach. I would just sit in bed all day. But I was trying, okay? I was trying. But what Sabbath is, no buying, no selling, no working, no cleaning, no cooking, no pleasure. Sabbath is just a day where you chillax, you read the Torah, and you get closer, you build your relationship with Yah. I'm still struggling to not have pleasures on the Sabbath, you know, but it's a little hard because I am by myself and my community is all the way in Jersey. So yeah, I can also leave the link in the bio so you guys could pull up to my Torah study on Wednesdays at 7:30. If it's canceled and you sign in and nobody lets you in, then that's why. So yeah, it's like trying to keep myself occupied and be in the Word during Sabbath is a little hard for me, but I'm slowly making progress because in the beginning I was still cooking, I was still cleaning, but now I am not doing those things. So it's like over time I'm progressing and getting better. So don't be too hard on yourself, but just know you're trying. But continue to try. Don't just stay at don't stay where you are. Continue to progress. Keeping the Sabbath is very important to me. It is what differentiates me from the rest of the world. It is what differentiates me and tells me I am Yah's. I'm his creation, and me and him, we're in a covenant together, and we are in agreement with that covenant. And I'm going to continue my best to keep Sabbath. And once you keep Sabbath, the rest of the laws and statute commandments just starts to flow. Now, we're not even going to get into how the calendar is off. We're not going to get into how the times are changed. But just so you know, Saturday is the 7th day. 7th day. If you look at any calendar, Sunday is the 1st day and Saturday is the 7th day. I even had a conversation with a priest who admitted that the Sabbath day is the 7th day, but we're gonna do Sunday because that's when Jesus rose from the dead. I'm like, did he ever say anything about keeping his day of resurrection? No, he said keep the Sabbath. God said keep the Sabbath. He didn't say keep the day of the resurrection because, you know, why not? So we're constantly changing things to make it fit our lives, but that's another convo for another day. Sabbath is from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, a day of rest, a day of holiness. I'll try to watch some biblical movies. I try to read my Bible. I try to fellowship with people and make sure God is the center of our conversations. I just try my best, okay? And then there's times me and Eli goes to the park after service is over. We're working on it. But that's why I keep Sabbath. And if you read these Bible verses and you want to build a stronger relationship with God, I highly advise that you start by keeping Sabbath, because it's going to set you apart. God wants to know that you are willing to be set apart. You are accepting this covenant and that you will keep his feasts, statutes, and commandments. This is a commandment. This is a holy day, holiday. This is a holy day, you know. This is his holy day, not the world's holidays. Okay? So follow the commandments of Yah. Follow the Torah. Don't follow what the rest of the world is. He told us not to be like them. The place that I'm taking you, don't follow after their ways. Don't do what they do. Do what I told you to do. I'm your creator. I know what's best for you. Don't follow what they do, because they don't have any laws. They're just free. Everything goes. And that kind of life can lead to some kind of problems, okay? To each his own. Okay? So that's why I keep the Sabbath. And please let me know, do you keep the Sabbath? Have you thought about keeping the Sabbath? Have you ever kept the Sabbath? Or if you're currently trying to keep the Sabbath, but maybe you do it on a Wednesday or you do it on a Tuesday, can you let me know why did you pick that day? Or what's the reason behind your keeping the Sabbath? And that's the video for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let your girl know how you feel. And I'll see you next time. Bye, gems.